We'll be using the component library Semantic UI React for our markup and styles within our project. You can find the documentation for it at reactsemanticui.com. We'll be using their usage section in order to finish setting it up. We've already installed the Semantic UI React dependency. Now we just need to bring in the related styles. So we'll grab this import to the Semantic UI style sheet. You can either copy as you see it here or go to their documentation to grab it. And we'll import it within index.js, and we'll remove the import to index.css and remove the file entirely from our project files. And once we save index.js, we should see the rules from that style sheet applied to our app. You can see that the text is a bit different, a bit smaller. And now we'll use Semantic UI React in order to build out our register component. We'll import a number of components from Semantic UI React. In particular, we'll grab the grid, form, segment, button, header, message, and icon components. And we'll begin with the grid component as the parent component. Grid will be used to structure content within our components. We'll give it the prop text align center and vertical align middle to center everything on the X and Y axes. We'll give it a grid column component to put everything within a column in our grid. We'll give it a style prop with a rule of max width set to 450. So the max width of this column will be 450 pixels. We'll have our header component, which we'll set as an H2, as H2 tags. Give it a prop of icon, a color of orange, text align set to center again to center all the text within it. We're going to include an icon within the header. And the name for it will be puzzle piece. You can find all the available icons within the documentation to Semantic UI. We'll give it a color of orange, and the text will be register for dev chat. So dev chat will be the name of our app. Underneath the header we'll have a form component with the size of large, so we can set the size for a number of these Semantic UI components. And we'll include a segment so we can put together all of the related content and a prop of stack to stack everything on top of one another. And within this form we'll have a number of inputs. So we'll have a form input with the prop of fluid to make the input the entire width of the parent component, the name of username, icon of user. We'll position the icon to the left and give it a placeholder text of username. And as with any input, we need to add an onChange handler, so we'll set that to the function handleChange, which we'll eventually use to update state according to the value typed into this input. But for now we'll just leave that empty, as well as an empty state object. We'll also give it a type of text to indicate that we're just going to be typing text for this username input. We can copy that entire input component, paste it in right underneath. We'll change the name to email, the icon that it'll have to mail, the placeholder to email address, so this is where users will type in their email address to register, and the type of it will be email. We'll set up some really basic HTML5 validation. We'll paste it in again, give it a name of password, an icon of block, a placeholder of password, and the type for it will be password. Now we'll copy this password input and paste it underneath, and this will be the password confirmation input for users to be able to confirm the password that they supplied. Give it a name of password confirmation, an icon of repeat, placeholder of password confirmation, 2 words, and we'll leave the type as password. Then we'll have a button that users can click on to submit their form. Give it a color of orange, it'll be fluid, and the size will be large. Underneath the form we'll have a message which will tell users or ask them if they're already a user. And we'll import the link component from the package React Router DOM. So if they're already a user, if they've already registered before, we'll give them a link so they can log in, go to the login page. So the link will be to /login and the text will be login. You can save all of that. If we take a look in our browser, you can see our register form, although it's kind of up at the top. We need to bring this down to the middle of the page. We'll do that by going to app.css and adding a rule for HTML body and this app class that we'll create. We'll give it a height of 100 view height, so it'll take up the entire height of the browser. We'll give it a background, the hex code EEE, and the padding of 1em around it. And we'll provide that class name that we just created, the rule that we just created, to our grid component, the class name of app. If we refresh, we can see the background's changed, our form is centered, and if we click on the login link, we're directed to the login page.